All right, what up, guys? So this isn't going to be anything that's going to be edited. Well, it might be edited, but I just want to talk about Kadena and where I think that this industry might be going 5, 10, 20 years from now. If we talk about understanding blockchain technology from a first principle standpoint, and I start to compare Kadena against any other cryptocurrency in the space, I have to start breaking it down to what is blockchain and what is the technology trying to accomplish. And you'll start to understand that blockchain is trying to accomplish a few things, but what it is at the bottom line is just software. Facebook, software. MySpace, software. Twitter, software. Kadena, software. Bitcoin, software. Solana, software. So if you take a look at each software and what services that software is trying to deliver, and you see something like Kadena and you compare it to something like Solana, Polygon, Algorand, Tron, Ethereum, and you understand what the underlying technology is, Kadena is so much more superior to anything else in the industry. It's hard for me to really wrap my head around. So I want to talk a little bit about Coin Bureau's video where he just did this big review on Ethereum, and I just don't really see it being the future. And I think that over a 5-year play that would be a very bad thing, but short term, it could potentially have some upside potential. So if we take a look at Ethereum on DeFi Llama, and I can show you guys that there's $122 billion locked in DeFi protocols on Ethereum. And we can see that that number has honestly continued to climb until November of 2021. So if it didn't put in a new all-time high in November, I would say, okay, yeah, we can see that the growth of the DeFi ecosystem on Ethereum is slowing down, but it's not really slowing down. We can also talk about new applications building on top of Ethereum. As of now, I'm sure that there are still new projects building on top of Ethereum. I can't really see why, unless they never need to transfer tokens or interact with anything on the Ethereum. I don't know. So what took Ethereum up to, 4,000 was the massive amount of ecosystem development. Every time one of these projects launched MakerDAO, if you wanted to buy MakerDAO through the IDO, you most likely had to use Ethereum to do it. So you're probably looking at your wallet saying, oh, what do I got in my crypto wallet that I can sell to get more Ethereum to buy more MakerDAO or to ape into MakerDAO? So when we talk about growing an ecosystem and what grew Ethereum, what was able to scale Ethereum to this point was a lot of projects being built on top of it. Crypto kitties were going for something like $1 million. So could you imagine if you wanted to buy a crypto kitty or a crypto punk for $200,000, it shoots up to $1 million, you sell it, you take your profits, you buy $1 million worth of Bitcoin. Not really sure, but it creates a flywheel of buy pressure because every time somebody wants to ape into a new product that's building on top of Ethereum, they need Ethereum. Anytime I wanted to get in one of these crazy NFT projects, I was selling things in my portfolio to get more Ethereum to go buy into these NFT products. Where I think the space will evolve to over the next year, we already see a majority of NFT business starting to shift over the Solana ecosystem, but I don't think it can really fully go all in on Solana, A, until the network stops breaking, or B, the Solana market cap gets upwards of 125, maybe even 200 billion. That is why the NFT game on Ethereum is so strong, because there's so much liquidity on the Ethereum in the Ethereum ecosystem that it's hard to really disrupt that. But where NFTs evolved to over the last, 6 months, you have to spend 2 weeks in a Discord. There's 50,000 scams for every one good legit product there are. It's so hard, and you pretty much have to make NFTs your full-time job. So it's really cool and it sounds great, and a lot of us have NFTs, but how many of us are actually active NFT traders? I would say less than 0.5% of the entire crypto space interacts with NFTs on a daily basis, buys, sells, trades, flips them. So I'm looking at something like Ethereum and I'm going, okay, if I'm a business today and I wanted to create a borrowing and lending protocol, would I build that on top of Ethereum and hope that Ethereum 2.0 comes out and that it can actually scale? When if you talk about the complexity of a transition from proof of stake to proof of work, or proof of work to proof of stake, it's hard for me to wrap my head around how anybody would actually want to build on top of something like Ethereum and risk their business versus building on top of something where, okay, this blockchain has proven that it can scale infinitely, it could support global real world adoption. So from a layer 1 perspective, if I'm a business owner, I'm gonna build on whatever's the most advanced and most superior. Now, there are things that Ethereum has, like it's been battle tested for 5-7 years now, and it doesn't break, very secure. Your money from point A to point B gets there. So if I wanted to send $1 billion, yeah, maybe I'm gonna use the software that's been out for 5 or 7 years. It's been battle tested, it's been tried, run through the muck, it's not hacked, it's safe, it's secure. Yeah, for sure. Now, what happens 10 years from now when I have another blockchain that's came up that is way more superior, even more secure, meets all the same thing and can deliver the same services that Ethereum did, but in a more secure way? Do I care that Ethereum's been doing it for 10 years and this one's only been doing it for 5? If the one that's been doing it for 5 is just as trusted and secure as the one that's been doing it for 10, I'm just going to use the one that I like and the one that's more secure. So I think that even 10 years from now, or even if Ethereum 2.0 solves their issues with scaling and fixes A, B, and C, I don't think it's going to be a competitor against Kadena. I think that sharding is an engineering nightmare. Picture taking a sheet of paper and shredding it through a paper shredder, and then trying to put back all of those pieces together in, I think Ethereum block time is like 3 seconds. That's what sharding is. It's super complex. And what makes Ethereum is the fact that it's very, very decentralized. It's very, very secure, and it just keeps running. That is the best 3 things about Ethereum, and all of those revolve around proof of work. When Ethereum switches to proof of stake, it loses everything. It has not been tested. It's not battle tested. It's not the most decentralized. It's not tried and true. Gas prices are still going to be astronomical. And the true Ethereum 2.0 upgrade completion date hasn't even been announced yet. We don't even have an idea. We know that they're trying to do something in summer or in 2022, but they've been promising us that since 2017. Best case, we see Ethereum 10K. Now, what drives up the price of a crypto asset isn't necessarily people buying it as it is people trading it. Now, because so many people have bots built that are very, very consistent at trading Ethereum, when the market gets bullish, people are buying Ethereum to trade it, which will also drive up the price of Ethereum. So just because the price of Ethereum is going up doesn't mean that the network is still growing in a positive light. So what could be some ways, there are things that we would look for to know when we should be really trying to exit Ethereum for good? Let's find out. So if I took a look at TVL and I said, okay, when I see TVL starting to decrease consistently and I see other new projects, and we can see it on BSC, look at that. So BSC in May of 2021 had $31 billion locked in DeFi. That was the peak of altcoin season. Even over the last year, in the most bullish market conditions that we've seen yet, Bitcoin put in a new all-time high, right? And Binance Smart Chain could not get more people to trust their ecosystem. So I would say that if I was betting against the DeFi ecosystem, I think Binance will be done. They are going to go to zero. Tron is the worst of them all. And what happens to these DeFi ecosystems is they turn into money grabs. They're a ton of scammers. They're not secure. They're not safe. People just get sick of using them. For example, take a look at Tron. Does anybody watching this video actually interact with the Tron ecosystem? Or would it even cross your mind to go into the Tron ecosystem and use Tron? No, Tron's garbage, man. And if we swing over to Twitter and we take a look at Ethereum's Twitter, if we copy their username and we swing over to Social Blade and we choose the drop-down list and we paste in the exact username with the @ symbol and we search, these are kind of the consistent red flags that I'd be looking for. So say today's April 10th. So next month on May 10th, I'm going to check this again. This month, Ethereum gained 34.8% less subscribers than they did the previous month. And I've done research on 2 blockchains. I want to say Rune and Kadena grew their social media presence more with 10 times less followers than Ethereum grew with 2.5 million. So we're seeing that their follower count is depreciating, but we haven't been tracking it for a while. So this is something that I would definitely keep an eye on. We have 2,317,888 followers on Twitter. And we saw that Ethereum grew by 44,000 followers over the last 30 days. If we take 44,000 and we divide that by 2,317,888, that would mean that the Ethereum community only increased by 1%. 1%. So the overall growth rate of the Ethereum community is only growing by 1%. Now take a look at something like Kadena, and we can see that the Kadena increased their subscriber growth by 36% from the previous month. They increased their follower growth by 21,000 and now have another 193,000. Let's go, Kadena. So if we did 193,000, so we did 100, so if we do 21,000, that would mean that the Kadena community or ecosystem adoption rate is 10%. They grew their social media presence by 10% in 30 days. Ethereum did 1. Now, when we talk about dApps, people are still building because this was 2,850, but a dApp is a meme coin, right? So anybody that launched a meme coin or an NFT project, quote unquote, is technically considered a dApp. Now, how many of these applications are still in use today, are not scams, and are good projects that you personally would sell your Bitcoin for? Now, I would never sell my Bitcoin for anything, but how many of those applications are you still using today? And if Ethereum doesn't fix their gas problems in the next 2 years, how many people do you think will still be using the Ethereum ecosystem? I can't really wrap my head around it, guys. I don't want to be that guy that says sell your Ethereum, but when you actually start looking at it from a first principle standpoint, people are like, oh, institutional businesses will still use it. Maybe, I could see it, but if they stay proof of work, I can see it. If they switch to proof of stake, you're going to lose that decentralization, because they're going to have to centralize block production, meaning their validators, you're not going to be able to run a validator. There'll be people that have $1 million worth of Ethereum. They can set up validators. I don't know how else to say it, guys. I just think that Ethereum's not going to go to zero, but I think eventually people will stop using the network. I think it's not going to be as secure as other applications. It's already been proven. If you go to savedbykadena.com, and if you just Google Saved by Kadena, and you guys remember the Compound hacked for 147 million. If Compound was built on Kadena, that hack would never have been able to happen, because Kadena rewrote their own coding language and it's turning incomplete, I believe. Solidity is turning complete, meaning that you can leave loopholes and bugs and things that you just can't do in Kadena. And that's what Kadena was designed for, not necessarily to be an ETH killer. I don't think anything's going to kill any other blockchain. I just think that there's other blockchains that are way more superior because the technology has evolved. You think about older internets, think about MySpace, think about Facebook, right? There's been great applications that were worth hundreds and millions and billions of dollars that are now worth zero. I don't think Ethereum's ever going to be worth zero because there's so many lost coins and they have the burn and there's definitely that buy pressure. But do I think it's going to get you out of the rat race? No. Do I think it can even 2x, 3x, maybe 2 to 3x, but that's best. Where I think Bitcoin could 50 or 100x. I just don't think that anybody's going to start using Ethereum, and I think that it's going to be so far away before ETH 2.0 actually comes out and actually makes the network better. And by that time, how much more do you think the space is going to evolve? Ethereum's not evolving right now. It's just stuck. So I don't know, guys. I just think that the technology is outdated. I think that the coding language is going to be a relic in a few years. I don't think anybody's going to code in Solidity when they have the opportunity to code in something like Pact. Now, Kadena is definitely a longer term play. It's still very early, but that's why it's $6, right? If it was as developed as Ethereum, I think it'll be $2,000 to $3,000. If Kadena just had Ethereum's market cap today, $2,257 per KDA. I'd have $40 million. Oh my gosh. Crazy to think about how early we are on an asset like Kadena. And we'll end it on this. When we talk about being an ETH killer or being a Solana killer, being a Cardano killer, I don't want to see any of these blockchains lose. I don't want to see Ethereum lose. Kadena doesn't need Ethereum to lose for it to win. When blockchain goes global and goes mainstream, I think we're all in early on everything, as long as the application can be used. Terra, I think will continue to grow. Bitcoin, I think will continue to grow. Solana, if they can figure out how to stop their blockchain from breaking, just because it's so fast and so clean and they've done such a good job with the onboarding process, I think it'll be perfect for gaming. But even if you are a Ethereum maxi and you're a Cardano maxi, when you start to understand the technology, you would think that everybody in this industry would be talking about Kadena. It would be the #1 talk of the town, because it actually, for the first time, we have a blockchain that can deliver all the services and they solve the blockchain trilemma. And I know that that sucks for every proof of stake chain out there that made a little modified version of Ethereum's proof of stake, whether that's sharding or subnets or cross shard communications or ZK rollups. All those technologies were super awesome, and I think that they'll all be used in their own unique way. But as far as being a competitor to be that big layer 1 blockchain, I'm just going to bet on the technology that's the most advanced, and I'm just talking about it all the time because I want to document the journey. So if I'm wrong, I can learn from my mistakes, and if I'm right, I can help educate people on what potential I saw in something like that, so maybe you guys can find the next Kadena, or maybe you guys don't make the same mistake that I made and went that big and that bullish on one single asset. Kadena is making up for like 60%, 70% of my portfolio right now. And I keep buying it every day, and I'm really going to be selling everything I can on this next push up, even low cap gems, to buy more Kadena, because that's how much I believe in it. I don't really have to worry about trying to find another Doge or another Shiba to get 100x gains out of real quick, so I can buy assets like this. I've built enough of a portfolio I don't have to chase. So I'm just going to sit back and put every little penny I can because it has such massive upside potential. Jeez, oh Pete's. Love you guys.